Hello everyone, welcome to the next episode of SpongeBob Now. Today, I will be talking about Nature Pants and Opposite Day. First, I'm going to talk about Nature Pants. Enjoy. While at work, SpongeBob daydreams about becoming a jellyfish and living in jellyfish fields. His inattention leads to a fire. SpongeBob explains his wish to Mr. Krabs, who laughs and says that SpongeBob would not last a day in the wild. Undeterred, SpongeBob quits his job and gives away all of his possessions to his friends. He even gives a tearful Patrick a large jar of mayonnaise, a stash of old phone books, and his prized jellyfish net, Ol' Reliable. Sandy is shocked to hear of SpongeBob's plans and tries to convince him otherwise, but SpongeBob declines in hopes that maybe one day they will end up like him. After saying goodbye to all his friends, SpongeBob removes his pants and runs away naked while acting like a jellyfish, leaving Sandy and Squidward somewhat confused as to why he took off his pants. They leave after betting on how long he will last. Sandy gives him a week and Squidward gives him 11 minutes while Patrick starts to cry because he is devastated at the departure of his best friend. Once he arrives at Jellyfish Fields, SpongeBob is glad to be home, and he tries to blend in with the other jellyfish. Patrick and Sandy have a picnic to try to trick SpongeBob into coming home, but SpongeBob resists, still insisting that he belongs with the jellyfish. A crazed and heartbroken Patrick soon returns with SpongeBob's jellyfish net, Ol' Reliable, having decided that if SpongeBob refuses to come home, then he'll force him to come back by capturing him and making him his trophy, even going as far as to make a trophy jar, possibly out of the same mayonnaise jar from before, meant for SpongeBob. SpongeBob frantically tries to dissuade Patrick into moving on as his former friend chases him through jellyfish fields. SpongeBob eventually jumps into a jellyfish hive out of Patrick's reach, finally forcing Patrick to give up. When the jellyfish return, they sting SpongeBob and chase him away. That night, SpongeBob tries to sleep in a cave, but feels very itchy. He finds poison sea urchins all over him, forcing him to run out of the cave, scratching himself very fast. Finally realizing that the wilderness is not as good as he thought, SpongeBob tearfully returns to Bikini Bottom, muttering to himself that he gave up his life and friends for nothing. Upon reaching the pineapple, he is greeted with a welcome home party by his friends. All is forgiven. SpongeBob puts his clothes back on, and Mr. Krabs gives him his Krusty Krab employee hat back. Everyone then piles in Squidward, who is unhappy, for a group hug. However, the poison sea urchin bacteria spreads and everyone except SpongeBob becomes itchy. Therefore, he concludes by stating, "It's great to be home." Next, I'm going to talk about Opposite Day. Enjoy. One morning, Squidward is woken by SpongeBob and Patrick, who throw a surprise birthday party for him. He shouts that it isn't his birthday and, having had enough of SpongeBob and Patrick, decides to move out of Bikini Bottom the next day. That afternoon, he calls Bikini Realty to arrange for his house to be sold, so that he may move out of the neighborhood. He is warned that if his home is surrounded by bad neighbors, the house may not be sold. Squidward is convinced that SpongeBob and Patrick may ruin his chances of selling his house. Squidward thinks that whatever a good neighbor does, SpongeBob and Patrick do the opposite, which gives him an idea. A now goofy Squidward tells SpongeBob that it is opposite day the next morning, and that everyone must act opposite to how they usually act. A now grumpy SpongeBob believes him and initially plans to lie in bed all day, but he is interrupted by Patrick, who has never heard of opposite day due to Squidward not telling him beforehand. He informs Patrick, who stops breathing, until SpongeBob exclaims, "Not that opposite," and proceeds to show him how, immediately forgetting his initial plan to be lethargic all day. A montage of the two doing opposite things, such as talking backwards and acting as Gary's pets, is then shown. Squidward's plot soon begins to backfire on him. SpongeBob fixes, damages his house, and a shocked Squidward cleans the debris with a bulldozer. SpongeBob concludes that Squidward is acting like him, and he must therefore act like Squidward, which is the opposite of SpongeBob. While Squidward is still fixing SpongeBob's house, the real estate agent arrives, and SpongeBob and Patrick both pretend to be like Squidward, giving her a tour of the house unguarded, while describing it negatively and doing the opposite of what she asks. When Squidward realizes what is going on, he rushes to his house and attempts to explain the situation to the realtor, who, upon hearing that he is the real Squidward, as well, finally realizes throughout everything and berates them of intentionally messing with her for it. Gary comes in with a pickle on his face, resembling Squidward's large nose. He meows with a Squidward-style voice, which is the last straw for her that she angrily storms out and officially declines Squidward's house of being sold. Squidward begs the realtor to sell his house, but she refuses, stating she wouldn't sell the house if he was the last Squidward to exist on Earth, and then she storms off. SpongeBob and Patrick tell Squidward, "Happy opposite day." A furious Squidward shows SpongeBob and Patrick how much he hates them by attempting to run them over with the bulldozer, scaring SpongeBob and Patrick out of their wits as they run away into the distance while he is now on the warpath against them. SpongeBob then asks Patrick if he ever feels that Squidward likes them too much before the episode ends. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos. Goodbye everyone.